Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Simon. If you're new here, a warm welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. Today's video, as you guessed it, we're talking about Supernatural. It's a Supernatural Sunday, and we're coming to the end, nearly, of season 1. We're on episode 18. Something Wicked, it's called. And it was first aired April the 6th, 2006. So yeah, and it was about 41 minutes long. And Jared Padalecki plays Sam, and Jason Eccles plays Dean. It says John Winchester was in it, but he weren't. He was mentioned, but Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays John Winchester. I just watched this again. I remember watching it the first time, but I just watched it again, and he weren't in it, no. Right, Colby Paul plays Michael, and he is the older brother of the owner of the motel they're staying at. Venus Truaz plays Joanna, who's the mother, and Ellie Cohan plays Miles Turnover. And then in this one, Dean remembers when they was younger, and who plays young Dean Winchester is Ridge Campy, and young Sam is played by Alex Ferris. I think that's how you pronounce it, Campy and Ferris, yeah. Ridge Campy and Alex Ferris plays young Sam and Dean. Adrian Hughes plays Dr. Heidecker. Jeannie Epper plays the Strieger. She basically plays the monster. Mary Black plays the elderly patient. Eric Carroll plays the young mother. Right, sorry about that. That was someone at the door. Erica Carroll plays the young mother. Stacey Copeland plays Betty, and Chandra Berg plays Gloria, and Penny Cardass plays the nurse. And there's a few others, you know, that's just the name, but a few. But yeah, I'm trying to keep this short this week. I say this every week and it goes on 20 minutes. Right, Sam and Dean are given some coordinates basically from the dad, and they think they're going to meet the dad at that coordinates, but as you know, it doesn't happen that way. So they turn up in a local town, and yeah, and it's basically it's around school kicking out time, and they're outside the local park, and there's hardly anybody there. There's like one person sitting on a bench looking at, with one kid playing on the playground. And so Sam and Dean go and ask the lady, you know, what's going on, you know, where's all the kids? And she said, well, you know, it's a shame that, you know, kids are getting sick and there's a few of them in the hospital, so all the parents are keeping their kids safe at home, you know, just in case it's, you know, contagious. And so Sam and Dean are like, you know how they are, they're curious, so they go to the hospital and they find, they speak to a Dr. Heidecker, and they pretend to be from the They pretend to be from the local what you call it, CDT or whatever it is, the like Centre of Diseases, something like that. And yeah, Dr. Heidecker explains that there's a group of kids, young kids, gone down with pneumonia, and they're all in comas and they're deteriorating, and you know they don't know how long they're gonna last. And so Sam and Dean speak to one of the parents, and says, yeah, it was yeah, yesterday brought in their one of their kids, and then today they're just bringing in another kid. So it's going through the family. So they don't know how. They was perfectly healthy the one minute, and then just ill the next. And so Sam and Dean say, well, we're from the Centre of Diseases, you know, can we go and look at your house? And they said, yeah. So they tell them where the house is. So they go and check out the kids' bedrooms, and they share a room. So anyway, they go in, look everywhere, do all tests, and there's nothing really. Anyway, Sam opens up a window just before he goes and actually sees an elongated handprint on the windowsill, like, you know, not clawy, but long-fingered handprint on the windowsill. And Dean walks over to it, and he recognises the handprint. He recognises he's seen it before, you can tell. And so Sam takes a picture of this fingerprint, you know, the picture of the elongated thing, and they go and do research, and they check into this motel, and there's this like young lad on the counter who Dean takes a liking to, because he's like, you know, he's same as Dean, you know, he's cocky and excuse me, yeah, you know, he's got that attitude of Dean. So anyway, they check into this motel. Sam gets his computer out and he's doing his research, and Dean said there's no need for that. What we're looking for is this Stratega. And he goes, how do you know? He says, because I've seen it before. Anyway, it flashes back in time to a hotel room where that's where it comes in, you see. Me saying he's not in it, but he is. John Winchester is in it. It goes back to when there was kids, and John Winchester's in the room with the two, you know, young Sam and Dean, and John Winchester goes to Dean, now look after your brother. I'm going out, you know, hunting for this monster, and you stay in the room, look after your brother. And yeah, he goes, and so the next day Sam and Dean are in this room still, and Dean is making little Sam breakfast, and of SpaghettiOs, and Sam's like, oh, I don't want SpaghettiOs, can I have some Lucky Charms? And Dean says, no, you can't, there's only one portion left and I haven't had any. And Sam's like, you know, look at him with his looks up to him and stares at him with his please let me have these Lucky Charms eyes. And anyway, so he chucks the SpaghettiOs in the bin and gives him the Lucky Charms. And like you say, they've been there for a couple of days now on their own. And yeah, so then it goes back to modern day. And but yeah, so they're looking for a Stratega. And So yeah, they go outside, and they see the owner of the motel putting bags in the car and having a, shouting at the older kids saying, look, put the no vacancy sign up. And anyway, they find out that his younger brother's been taken sick. Same thing, pneumonia, unconscious. And Sam and Dean offer to take the young mother, the owner of the hotel, to the hospital. And Dean goes to do more research in the library, and going through the archives he comes across a photograph from like 1836, and it's a picture of like doctors around a kid's bed, and this Dr. Heidecker is one of the doctors. So because they've been looking for the Strieger, cut a long story short, Dr. Heidecker is obviously the Strieger. So he rings up, Sam rings Dean and tells him, and Dr. Heidecker is actually in the room looking after this young lad. And Sam just stares at him, and Dr. Heidecker tells Joanna that he's in safe hands, leave him with me. And like Dean is like foaming at the mouth. He wants to attack the doctor, but he can't. So he goes back to the motel, and he says to Dean, he says, the only way we can do this is, you know how he works. The Strieger goes after siblings, so he'll come for Michael, or he'll come for Michael, and we'll have to use him. And it's when he starts feeding on Michael, we'll come in, because they find out that consecrated iron kills the Strieger. So anyway, so they enlist this kid. They go to tell this kid, and the kid's like, if you don't leave now, I'm going to call the police. And like Dean's like, look, lad, he says you can don't have to believe me, but I've seen this Strieger. It nearly took my younger brother, and so anyway, he said, look, we'll go, sorry to disturb you. Anyway, cut a long story short, 5 minutes later the lad knocks on the door and decides to help. So they put the young lad in bed and tell him to wait there until the Strieger comes, and they'll burst in. And he says, as soon as we come in, roll under the bed and block your ears and shut your eyes, because we're going to fire bullets. And cut a long story, anyway, comes to the Strieger coming in, and they got these consecrated bullets, iron bullets in the guns, and they shoot the Strieger in the chest. Well, anyway, so Dean tells him to stay under the bed. As he goes up to see if the Strieger's dead, the Strieger jumps up and pushes Dean across the room and attacks Sam, and he's strangling Sam on the thing, and he starts feeding off Sam. The Strieger does. Anyway, Dean gets up and shoots the Strieger in the head, basically through the head, and it kills him. So yeah, it comes to the morning, and the mother comes back to pick up the older son, and tells him that, good news, your brother's woken up and he's better. The doctors have said we've got to keep him in overnight, but he'll be coming home tomorrow. Do you want to go and see him? So he goes, yeah. So she asks, anything interesting happened yesterday? And he looks at Sam and Dean and goes, no, nothing interesting. And then they go, and Sam and Dean looks at each other and goes, Sam goes to Dean, I wish we could, I wish we didn't have to bring him into the darkness. You know, I wish we didn't have to tell him and keep his innocence for a bit longer. But yeah, he said, and that's where it ended. Them driving off to the with the car. So yeah, that was episode 18. Something wicked. The next one, if I remember rightly, episode 19 is Provenance. I remember this one. I think it's something to do with an old painting. Yeah, the painting is like a prison for an evil spirit, and people are getting killed and that. So anyway, yeah, that's going to be a good one. So yeah, hopefully, if you like this sort of thing, give me a thumbs up. If you really like this thing and you want to stick around, consider subscribing, and we can all hang out and talk about supernatural and reviews of DVDs. I'll eventually show off my DVD collection and just general physical media. We are basically librarians of physical media, really, to be fair. I'm a collector. I'm more an eclectic collector. I like to collect DVDs, so I buy a lot, but I buy like what I like. I find, like, say Arnold Schwarzenegger. I find I've got some Arnold Schwarzenegger, so what I do, I search for Arnold Schwarzenegger DVDs, which I haven't got, and I buy the rest, some more. So I got like 10 or 12, you know what I mean? So I've got more of what I like. So I've got, say I buy, I don't buy bulk, I don't buy like boxes of DVDs or willy-nilly. I just buy like people I like you've seen what I do on a Thursday, But anyway, I'm gabbling on, and this was meant to be short, but it's turned out to be still over 20 minutes. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye bye.